Hello, my name is Liza, and today I'm excited to share with you a home decor project that I made as part of a collaboration. I'm going to leave a link of the playlist down below in my description box. For my project, I tried to mimic a topiary that I had seen online from one of the home store websites. What I used was a DollarTree cone. I also used some of the Jot Post-it notes. I thought these were perfect because they were already in circles, so that was one less thing that I had to do to prep my project. I also used some of the Crafter Square felt, and then I needed to use something as a base. So here were some of my options. A plastic champagne flute glass, a top from a venti Starbucks cup, one of these mini bowls that come in a set of 6. I also needed something to twirl my flowers, so I happen to have these reverse tweezers. I needed some glue that would dry fast but wouldn't burn my finger, so I used art glitter glue. I will be using hot glue, so I also have my little silicone fingertips, and you'll need some sharp scissors. The first thing I did was I opened up my packages of Post-it notes, and rather than cut 4 of the same color at the same time, I took one of each color and put them on top of each other, and then I started to cut from the end into a spiral, and it was about 3 cuts. Then I separated them. It was much easier to separate them once I made them in different colors because you can't see them when they're all the same. Then I took the end of one of the spiral papers and I put it on my tweezer, and I started to twist the spiral around my tweezer. I didn't do it too tightly, but of course I didn't do it too loose either. Once it was all rolled up, you should have just the center portion, which is going to be the portion that we're going to glue. I released it from my tweezer and I let it relax. And then I added a dollop of the glitter glue to the centerpiece, and then I just held it in place until it was dry. That glue dries pretty quickly. And then I continued on until I had a large stack of assorted colors flowers. Next, I had to wrap my cone because styrofoam and hot glue don't always get along, so I used the felt, but I did extend the cone to make it taller, and when I did that, I just added some paper to the tip so that it would be solid on the top, and this is what my cone now looks like. As you can see, it's almost twice the height. Next, using my hot glue gun and my fingertips, I started to put my flowers at the base, going all the way around, and I used all 4 colors, and that was my pattern. But then when I started going up the next rows, rather than having them in a straight line up and down, I adjusted my flowers so that they looked more not the same, as you can see in this picture. And then when I got to the top, I just added 1 or 2 to the top to cover the point. Next, it was time to pick my base. So I took my 3 bases. Oh, and that, by the way, is the spray can top. That's also an alternative. I spray painted my bases with white spray paint, and then it was time to make my marks on my bases so I could paint. So I used a vegetable can for my venti top, and I used a pencil to trace around the base. Then I had a large shot glass that I also traced around the base to make another layer, and this is what that looked like. Then I took my next base, and I again used the vegetable can, and I drew my circle around. And then I took the spray paint can, and I made another circle all the way around. And then my trusty shot glass for one more circle. Because these are different shapes, I had to use different items to make my circles. And this is what that looked like. Then my last base was the champagne glass, so I used my vegetable can again. And then because there is a long stem, I used a pill bottle because that actually would fit my stem, and I made another circle. And then for my one last circle, I used a travel size squirt bottle. And then that's what that looked like. I wanted to put some checks on my base, so to accomplish that, I took a rubber band and I placed it around, as you can see, and I used that as my guide for my pencil mark, and I kept shifting my rubber band so that I would have a checkerboard effect. I then used a black Sharpie marker and I traced my lines. I repeated that for the bowl. I thought that I was going to go for a Mackenzie Childs look. That's why I'm making these checks. And here you can see I'm completed my pencil markings, and then I traced with my black Sharpie marker again. For the champagne glass, I opted for not making checks, so I just traced my pencil lines with a black Sharpie marker. And then I painted everything with my black paint, my squares, and then some rows. I did have to do my champagne glass again, so that's what I'm showing you here. But I did add some bronze paint as a trim also. So I just want you to get an idea of how that looked. Next, it was time to place my cone on top of my base, and this is where I'm going to need your help to decide which one did you like better. Let me know in the comments. Was it B, C, or D? I was a little bit more drawn to D, and that's how I have it right now. I hope you enjoyed our project. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and as always, if you aren't already subscribing, please consider doing so. Again, I will leave the playlist for the other collaborators in the description box below. Quarantino and I will be back again soon with another project. Thanks for watching. Take care.